Brasil, decime que se siente. All right, guys, here we are. We're back. We're not going to talk about Argentina winning the Copa America. Huge, just like when the U.S. beat Mexico in the Nations League. It didn't matter how it got done. It was a classic. It was a rivalry. It was a final. They hadn't won anything in 28 years. Finally. And now the narrative changes. Now Messi is incredible. Now Messi is God. Now Messi is this. Huge sigh of relief. Similar to what we feel now with the U.S. winning Nations League. There is absolutely no pressure whatsoever now on the U.S. players, on Greg Berhalter and his staff. We already did what we had to do. We won the Nations League. Now with this Gold Cup roster, guys, and this one I'm going to address today, we aren't going to really draw conclusions of who is ready for the A team, who is ready to help us in World Cup qualifying, because the opponents are weak. We saw against Haiti, we saw against Martinique. These are MLS-type games, if that, meaning time and space is allotted to you, meaning there's very little pressure on the players within the game in itself. So what we will learn, and what I'm going to talk about a little bit today, is who isn't ready, okay? Because if you're not ready and you can't be dominant and you can't shine against Martinique, you're not an international, okay? That's how I'm going to start off today. We'll have more conclusions of who can perform more so than who we want to see more of. All right, so let's get straight to it. Watched the game yesterday, I'm sure you all did. Put the scope on Rio, put the lens on Rio, understand that. I was joking on Twitter, we're playing the French because the French national anthem was going on. They have Jassi Zar, this clone, coaching the team. Listen, they are who they are. Okay, you play who's against you. We smashed them. We did what we were supposed to do. Individually, George Bello. Okay, George Bello is somebody that I know very, very well. Some of you guys have been following as a youth international. Some of you guys have been seeing his performances in Atlanta. Exciting prospect, all you want. Great. George Bello, I'm sure, is going to have a great career. But as it turns out for the U.S. National team, the men's national team, translating to the next level, graduating to the next level, being the left back of the future, I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear, it's his first cap. He's probably nervous. It doesn't matter. The guy brings the ball, he can't trap, and comes off his neck, for crying out loud, okay? So he is in the same mold of Anthony Robinson. He is an athlete who can occasionally get down and put in a good cross, but the reality is at the international level, all the other things that need to be brought to the table, he does not have. Okay, I'm not going to go over the top and criticize and crush and destroy. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to say that George Bello, his performance left a lot to be desired, and I don't think he is going to be a solution moving forward. Quote me on it, criticize me on it, whatever you want. Okay, the other guy that has not showed well so far is the Walker Zimmerman, someone who is on my inaugural list of guys that shouldn't be on the USMNT moving forward because he will never be a long-term solution. Okay, struggles in possession, even against Martinique, even against little to no pressure at all. Drives in the midfield, gets picked. Just listen, you're allowed to make mistakes, but this guy has been given, I don't know how many caps. I didn't even do the research, how many caps he's had in the current regime. He's not going to be the guy, okay? And I've heard some ludicrous thing that he's the second or third on our depth chart right now at center back. Okay. So those two guys will continue, I guess, to see over the next course of the few weeks. And it doesn't matter. Big game against Canada. Canada doesn't have their 3 or 4 elite players. This is virtually an MLS game. It'll be played like an MLS game. And I'm not being critical. It's just the reality. There will be time and space for people to operate and do what they have to do and look competent. Maybe players shine, maybe they don't. But this is not the level to determine, to pass judgment, to say, hey, this is a solution for our guys. No. The only time we will be able to gauge that in this tournament, this summer, is against Mexico. Because Mexico brought the big guns. They have the exact opposite end. They have all the pressure in the world on them. As players, as coaches, they will get absolutely murdered if they don't win this tournament. So that's the opposite end. And they are going to play with that chip on their shoulder after what happened in the Nations League. Okay? First phase over of this episode. Who I liked and want to see more of, okay? I liked what I saw from Williamson, okay? Yeah, he didn't have a great game. Yeah, he turned the ball over. Yeah, he got picked a few times. Yeah, he was a turnover machine at times. But when he received, smooth. First touch, smooth. Tried some things, a little bit cerebral, yes. So I've seen Williamson a ton for Portland. I've seen him in his college days. I've seen him for a long time. He is progressing, and he is taking giant strides in his game. And I think I want to see a lot more of Williamson to the extent that the next game, I want to see Williamson +2 in midfield. I don't care who else accompanies him. I want to see this player because he has some class that I want to see how it could translate in real games in the future. Does this guy have it to put on the kit and represent us in the World Cup qualifiers or not? That's something I want to see. The other guy is James Sands, somebody that I've known for a long time as well. Listen, not challenged defensively, very smooth on the ball, can play an entry pass, can drive into midfield. He's got some good game to him. I want to see it. I want to see it against Canada. I want to see it against Mexico. I want to see more from James Sands because at the club level, he's been doing fantastic. He's earned this call-up. He merits it. He hasn't played since the U17 World Cup. It's been a long time since he's put on the kit. And I think James Sands more than deserves this opportunity. Let's see what that translates to late in the tournament, whether it's a 3-man backline or in a 4-man backline, which I want to see him paired with Miles Robinson, and we can move the Walker Zimmerman to the bench for the next game. Okay, the next guy I want to touch on is the number 9, Daryl Dike. Monster, okay? This guy is a physical force. We know what he did in the championship this year. We know what he's done a little bit at Orlando last year and this year. The guy is on the rise, okay? He is not the solution. He is not a world-class 9. He has potential. He has strength. He's scoring goals, which is what's the most important thing. He's trying to learn tactically what the manager and the expectations are with Berhalter and his staff to put on the kit and perform within a pretty rigid tactical setup and not just pick up ball. So listen, the reality is DK, Sargent, all our 9s that we have that are not the solutions yet, they're a group of 4, 5, 6 guys that are good pros. Okay, we're not going to know who the solution is. In my opinion, come Qatar 2022 and whatever it is, a year and a half, a little bit less than that, it's whoever's in the best form is going to play because we don't have a match-winning 9, and none of these guys are going to turn into that in a matter of, 14, 15 months. So let's keep the spotlight on DK. Good finishes. I think when balls get served to the box, he is a force. He's very good in the air. He's still lacking technically. Combination play, not there. In terms of his defensive movement and pressing, you see the staff up, very animated, telling him where he needs to be at all times. So let's continue to spotlight. Obviously, yesterday we played in a different formation. We'll see what Daryl Dike looks like in a 4-3-3. We'll see what he looks like against real opponents. Hopefully we get tested. Hopefully we play Mexico. And hopefully Dike could get a brace against Mexico. And then we'll all silence. We'll say Dike is the guy. I hear a lot of talk. Oh, based on what he showed yesterday, he's got to be the guy. Maybe, because Josh Sargent's not the guy. He didn't stake his claim. Because Hoppy's a little kid that's got a handful of games under his belt. So there really isn't a set 9. Jesse Sardes isn't the guy to graduate us. Great kid, great guy, great pro for the Columbus Crew. But he's not the guy that's going to take us to the next level. So the DK watch continues, guys. What I want to see, Canada moving forward, okay, guys? Again, we're not going to get tested. It's going to be a very easy Gold Cup minus the potential matchup with Mexico. So I want to see, we'll go with lineup right now. Goalkeeper. Doesn't matter to me. Matt Turner, great shot stopper. Let's stick with Matt Turner. I don't know much about the other 2 guys. Guzan's way past it. Who else is here? Sean Johnson. Doesn't matter to me. What does matter, and what I want to address now, is the David Ochoa situation. It seems he's training with the Mexico camp, and it seems like it's a bad situation where we are going to lose who I believe is the best goalkeeper in our entire player pool, Stefan included, okay? This is a guy that I've addressed as the U20 episodes when I first started talking on YouTube. This is a guy that I've known for a long, long time on a personal level, as a competitor, as an opponent, and this is a huge loss, a monumental loss for our program if he indeed does switch and go to Mexico. And I'll tell you why. Mexico doesn't have a pipeline of keepers coming through. Listen, I know Stefan must be somebody that we're going to count on for a long time. He's a Man City player. He's experienced. He's got whatever you want. Ochoa, the defense is, we've given this guy everything. We've brought him into the Olympic roster, the U20 World Cup, to the Nations League. Great. But when you have a special talent, when you have a special player, when you have somebody that has ego, and this guy does, you have to treat him a certain way, okay? Not just calling somebody up is enough. I know for a fact, some of these types of players, they need to be shown more than that. And in Ochoa's case, the reality is if you didn't want to play him in any of the Nations League, great. But when we had the friendly game, Costa Rica, at Salt Lake, at his home stadium, in front of his people, and you still played Ethan Horvath over him, that's a problem. You wanted to start Ethan to reward him for what he did in the final? Great. Halftime sub, 60th minute sub. Ochoa got 0. And I'm assuming, I don't know this firsthand, I'm assuming that didn't sit well with Ochoa. Being a part of that group, you get to see how things are, how you're treated, where you stand. And obviously, if he's with the Mexico camp right now, something didn't sit right with him, and that is a problem. Listen, It's so easy to say here and talk about it after the fact. It's so hard to put your coaching hat on and being able to manage a 20, 30, 40-man roster and keep everybody happy. That is impossible. It does not happen in any sport at any level. So listen, it's not an easy task to be the manager, to be Berhalter, to be his staff and keep everybody happy. It's not going to happen. What is key here, guys, is being absolutely 1,000,000% sure if you're going to lose somebody, that it's somebody that's not relevant and somebody that's not going to displace or be an important protagonist moving forward. If that decision was made and they said, hey, David Ochoa, we've seen him, we've lined him up, we can gauge his ceiling compared to our other goalkeepers, we're okay, then no problem. He can go and be a competitor and compete against us with Mexico. But if that job wasn't thoroughly done, and I think it wasn't, it's going to be a big regret, and we're going to see this guy taking it to us for years to come. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Ochoa sticks to this. I hope he just went to evaluate and see and play his cards and see who treats him better and where he likes it better, and he ends up back with us. So something to keep an eye on. I went on a little tangent. Turner starts against Canada, but the Ochoa thing is huge for me. The back line, okay? Line of 3, line of 4, we'll see. Hopefully it's a line of 4. Hopefully we exclude the Walker Zimmerman. We play Sands with Miles Robinson and go with Vines and with Shaq Moore, who's had a very good tournament so far. Somebody that's been out in the dark, out in the cold, playing in second division, and now he's back and he's showing that he actually deserves to be there. And he may have already displaced Reggie Cannon, who unfortunately is injured, hasn't been able to play. Top performances for Shaq Moore. That's what it's all about, putting on the kit and performing. In midfield, guys, I want to see Williamson +2. I don't care who the other 2 guys are, whether it's Busio. I know everybody hates Jackson Ewell. It's all the same to me. They both have good qualities on the ball. They both struggle a little bit defensively at this moment in time, whether it's Roldan or whether it's Sebi Leggett. I've already given my verdict. Those guys are good role players. Those guys aren't the solution long term. Those guys aren't elevating us to the next level. So Eric Williamson's an interesting prospect, somebody that I want to see more of in this Gold Cup. Up top, Daryl Dike +2. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's not Jonathan Lewis, who has 0 to offer us. Hoppy's a young guy, did okay for his debut. We can have Roldan play as a 7 like we did the other day. It doesn't matter to me who else plays. Let's see if DK, with his imposing figure and force, can continue banging in goals and be somebody that helps us off the bench or even starts here in the CONCACAF process to Qatar 2022. Because come Qatar, it's whoever's in best form is going to play the 9 for us. I have no doubt about it. We don't have a lock starter there, and we will not have one in a year's time. So that's it, guys, for me. We'll be back. Yeah, we'll continue to analyze this whole tournament. Again, I want to be very clear again. We will not have drawn conclusions as to who has it and who doesn't out of this roster that got picked for the Gold Cup. Very simple. The opponents do not challenge you enough to kind of demonstrate whether you have it or you don't have it. But what will be very clear to me, and I think everybody out there, is who does not have it. That's where the spotlight needs to be, to kind of slim down the player pool, which is a massive one at this moment. And guys, we're going to have dark horses appear, whether it's here in our domestic league or in Europe. Guys are going to have good seasons, and when they merit a call, I'm sure they're going to get a call, because that's something that the Berhalter and his staff have done, is made a huge player pool and continue to evaluate everybody and not excluded hardly anybody to date. So there it is. We keep going. If we can lift another trophy this summer, if we can steal this from Mexico, it will create havoc over there. I doubt it'll happen, guys. Hopefully we get to Las Vegas. Hopefully we can all make that little road trip down and watch a US-Mexico, and hopefully we put on a good show, because Mexico is going to win this trophy, bar none. That is 100%. You can take that to the bank, and it won't matter, because we won when it counted the most. All right, that's it for me. I know I tried to say goodbye a million times, but I haven't been on the mic in a while, so I'm a little lost. Peace.